5. Now we have two parallel lines, 2x plus 3y plus 1 and 2x plus 3y minus 51. Now the reason I know they're parallel is because of these parts here being the same, the 2x and the 3y and the other 2x and the 3y. They're identical beginnings, and the only thing that differs is the number at the end, and that's how I know they're both parallel. Now the first thing I'm asked to do is verify that the point minus 2, 1 is on M. I get the line M, which is located here, and I replace x with minus 2 and y with 1. And these are the easiest couple of marks you're going to get in this exam. If it balances and equals 0, the point is clearly on the line. And as we can see, it's going to be minus 4 plus 4, and we get 0 equals 0, and we just say A is on M. And that's a very easy way to start off the question. Now, point A is minus 2, 1. So here's a diagram here, and this is minus 2, 1. Okay, and it wants me to find the coordinates of the point B. Now, what I could do is if I find the equation of this red line here, I can do the point of intersection between this red line and this line N, and that'll tell me what B is right there. Now, in order to get an equation of a line, we need two general pieces of information, okay? And this is the equation of the red line. We need a point that's on the red line, and we clearly have that in minus 2, 1. So it's going to be y minus 1. I don't know the slope, but I do know that x is minus 2, so minus 2 is plus 2, and this will count as an attempt. Next thing, how am I going to find the slope? Well, we know that it's at 90 degrees when we're talking about the closest B is closest to the point A, so it has to be a 90-degree line, and so I'm going to need a perpendicular slope. Right, so I'm going to look at the original line here. See the 2x plus 3y, 2x plus 3y. Either of the lines, it's perpendicular to both lines, so because they're parallel, they have the same slope as each other. I'm going to use the formula y equals mx plus c. And this means that when I isolate y on its own, which I'm going to do in a second, I'm going to get 3y equals minus 2x minus 1. And I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Now, whatever number comes in front of the x is the letter m. So m is minus 2/3. This means that the slope of this blue line here is minus 2/3. And since I know that the red line is perpendicular, I can quite simply turn it upside down and change the sign. When I turn it upside down and change the sign, I'm going to get 3 over 2. It was a minus fraction, now it's going to be a positive fraction. So now I know that m is 3 over 2. Okay, then I'm going to grab that 2, which is division on the right because it's being multiplied. 3 over 2 is being multiplied by the x and the 2. I'm going to grab that 2 and multiply it over the other side to get 2y minus 2. Then I'm going to get 3x plus 6. Then we're going to move everything all over one side. So I'm just going to get rid of what I had down here a minute ago. And what we're going to get is, I'll bring the 3x and 6 to this side, so we're going to get minus 3x plus 2y, and it's going to be minus 2 minus 6, which is minus 8. That's one possible answer. I'll multiply both sides by minus, and this will be the answer that's in the marking scheme. But both of these answers are correct. Okay. Next thing we're moving on to is a bit of a two touching circles. Okay. So we have A and B touching. Okay. And we know that A is the point, what did we say it was in the last question? Oh, sorry, I still didn't finish this question. I still haven't found the point B yet, which is the whole point of the question. So, we have this equation here, and what we said earlier was that we're going to do the point of interception between the two lines. So I have to do the point of interception between B and the line N, which means solving a simultaneous equation. So I'm going to bring that 8 to the other side to make it minus 8. I'm going to grab this equation up here. I'm going to bring the 51 to the other side. So I'm going to get 2x plus 3y equals 51. Okay. We're going to solve this. We're going to multiply the top equation by 3 and the bottom equation by 2. And we should get 9x minus 6y equals minus 24. And then underneath we're going to get 4x plus 6y equals 102. And then we're just going to get 13x equals 102, take away 24. 78. We're going to divide 78 by 13. And lo and behold, we get an x value of 6. We're going to grab one of the original equations. I'll grab this one here, the second one. And what I'm going to do with this second equation is I'm going to replace x with 6. So the x here gets replaced with 6. So it's going to be 2 times 6 is 12, plus 3y equals 51. Bring the 12 over the other side, we're going to get 3y equals 51, take away 12 is 39, and y equals 13. And this is the point 613 is B. B is 613. So what we have here is minus 2, 1, and 613. So minus 2, 1, and 613. Two touching circles, one of them has A and the other one has B on it. 613, okay. The ratio of the radiuses of S to the radius of T is 1:3. Find the equation of S. So we're looking for the equation of the smaller one. Now, the first thing I'm thinking is to get the equation of the smaller circle, I'm going to need two things. I'm going to go for x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. I need two things. I need the center and I need the radius. Okay, the easy one to get my hands on would be the radius. So I'll explain now. So if I draw this two lines here and I make the smaller radius r, so that'll be r plus r. Okay, and then the bigger radius is 3 times bigger than the smaller radius, so that'll be 3r and that'll be another 3r. Add them all together, we get 6r and 2r, we get 8r. 8r is the full distance from A going all the way towards B. Now I can use the distance formula to find the distance of AB. Okay, so we're going to use the distance formula to find AB. We call you x1, y1, we call you x2, y2. The distance formula would be something from junior cert, which is x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay. Now, here's what we're going for. It's going to be 6, and then it's going to be minus 2, so that's going to be 6 plus 2 squared. And then the other side is going to be y2, which is 13, take away 1 squared. You got to lob all that into the calculator. Now, I'm just going to take a shortcut here because I know 6 plus 2 is 8 squared. And then 13 minus 1 is 12 squared. And then we get an answer of 4 root 3. 4 root 13, sorry. Okay. Now, so 8r, 8 times my radius is 4 root 13. Radius on its own is 4 root 13 all over 8. Put that into the calculator and you'll get just root 13 over 2. Okay, happy days. We've now found the radius. Next thing I'm going to need to find is basically the center of that circle. Now, I do have an idea for this. If you were to cut these two lines, okay, and it's basically a question of you have 2 points A and B, and you have the center of the circle, which is closer to A than it is to B. So this is a line between 2 points question. Now, if you look at this distance here that I'm highlighting in pink, that'd be 3r, 3r, and r. That's going to be 7r. And the distance from A to the center would be 1r. That's a ratio of 1 is to 7. C is 7 times further away from B than it is to A. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a translation here. So minus 2, 1, getting transferred all the way up to 6, 13. So get this, all right? And when we add the ratio together, we get 8 parts, okay? So 8 parts. So to go from minus 2 all the way to 6 is plus 8 to x. And to go from 1 to 13 is plus 12 to y. So therefore, 8 parts is 8 to x and 12 to y. But we only need to go 1 part because we're only traveling 1 part across. So 1 part would be divide 8 by 8 to get 1 to x, divide 12 by 8 to get 1.5 to y. So the point A, which is minus 2, 1, I just add 1 onto it, plus 1 to the x value. So plus 1 to the x value will be minus 1. And then plus 1.5 to the y value will be 2.5. And there lies my center of the circle. And that's my hk value. And this here is my r value. So as I stated earlier, it's x minus h squared, y minus k squared equals r squared. You don't have to multiply any of this out. So h is minus 1, minus minus 1 is a plus 1. Y minus k is 2.5, so it's y minus 2.5 squared, and then r squared is root 13 over 2, 2b squared, and I'd usually turn that into 13 over 4. You get full marks for leaving it like this according to the marking scheme. You don't even have to square it out. I always tend to square out the root 13 over 2 to get 13 over 4. And that's that question. Question 5 in 12 minutes. Tough question.